Hey guys, it's Vicky. I don't know if I should be changing that to like it's Miss Green or only have the same ring to it though, does it? Hey guys, it's me. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going through my NQT application letter. So yeah, keep watching if you're thinking about applying for some teaching jobs. This is the letter that I've written and I'll be sending out to schools that require an application letter with their application. But first, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. I know that some people watch for like UCL updates, and I want to let you know that UCL, obviously with the schools closing, they've made some changes to our course. So we're meant to be in school right now until February half term. But schools are closed until then, so they have moved our placement so that it will start after February half term and go on for the next 4.5 weeks. And during the time where we should have been in that placement, like over the next 4 or 5 weeks, we're going to have the lectures that we would have had when we're now going to be on placement. I hope that makes sense. I'm not sure it does, but UCL have also been really good about moving our deadlines, changing things around. It took them a while to get there. I mean, it didn't really, I guess I might be really impatient, but obviously I'm just really concerned about my course. So it felt like for me it took a while, but I guess it didn't actually take them that long. But everything they're doing has been really good, and I think will support us really well. So big shout out to UTL and all of the IOE education staff, all of the IOE staff that have worked really hard to move everything around for us. Like obviously they've got to plan all of our lectures and now they don't have any time to do that, so yeah, they've all been incredible, so I'm really happy about that. So I have one like golden top piece of advice that a teacher that I just know has told me actually last year when I was looking for a school to work in as a gap student, and I'm saving that for the end of the video, so keep watching for that. A big thing that I want to do right now is put a don't stress warning out, okay? Don't stress about this, right? There's no need to, I've got my iPad here for a minute. There's no need to be applying for NQT jobs right now. In fact, UCL have recommended that we wait because lots of schools haven't even put their jobs out yet, okay? So there's not a lot of job vacancies out there, and it's important that you find the right school for you, the school that has the right ethos, the right values, and the school that you feel you will work really well in, okay? That's the most important thing. Yeah, if you leave it a bit longer as well, you have more experience, you might have had more time in schools or teaching online, more things you can add into your application letter that will just make it stronger. I have made a start. I've applied to 2 schools so far, but only because I felt that they really aligned with the type of school that I know that I'm looking for and will help me to become the type of teacher that I know I want to be. So don't stress. Most jobs aren't out yet, okay? You have plenty of time, okay? So that is a big thing I just wanted to get said at the start of the video. Also, I want to mention that not every school that you're looking to apply for, or not every application will require an application letter. They might just have a form that you have to fill out, or there might just be some questions about your interest and why you're applying for this role, what's driven you to become a teacher, stuff like that. So you might not even need an application letter. So keep that in mind when you're watching. Okay, so my makeup is just falling all over. Okay, so I'm not going to read through my application letter word for word because obviously this is the letter that I'm putting out to schools. It's very personal. However, I'm going to go through some sentences and the key points. Okay, so let's get into it. So first thing is I've set it out as a like proper letter. So top right hand side is my address and then the date, and then top left hand side the address of the school that I'm applying for, and then dear whoever it is that the application letter has been said that, or they've said they want the application letter to go to. So in the example that I've done, it's for the head teacher. So all it said was the head teacher. I went online, I found the name of the head teacher, you know, just little things like that. Putting like the actual name that you're going to, helpful, okay? Just little details I think will make you stand out that little bit more. And then, yeah, so dear whoever, and then application for role of whatever role you're going for, class teacher, Key Stage 2 teacher, you know, primary school teacher, whatever it is that the role that you're going for. Okay, so I've started my letter. I am writing to formally apply for the role of, whatever they called the role, advertised for a September 2021 start. Okay, so just making it really clear what your letter's going to be about, just from the off, straight to the point. And then I have a sentence. You might have two sentences actually, this is a really long sentence. I believe the experience I've gained in my career thus far, so like things that you've done so far. So if you've worked in school previously, then this is just a quick summary of the things that you've done that you want to grab their attention, right? You want them to be like, okay, I want to keep reading this application because I think they might be good for this role. I'm really aware that I keep talking really quickly, so I'm going to work on that. Yeah, so just a quick list of things that you've done that you think would make you suitable for this role. If you haven't had experience in schools, then you can draw on things from your training year. Okay, so have a think about that. So all of these things that I've done, blah, 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 would make me well suited for this role, full stop. So that's the end of my first paragraph. It's only 6 lines, okay, really short. I just really want to draw them in and make sure that they read the rest of my application. So second paragraph, again, a very short one. I just want to let them know what I'm doing at the moment. So I'm currently completing my PGCE at UCL Institute of Education. So you'll put wherever you are applying. And then I've done just another sentence about why I've applied for this school in particular. So maybe you can find something about their ethos or a key statement that's on their website, on their prospectus, something that's, you know, stood out that you think, that links to the teacher that I want to be, or what I do in the classroom, or the aims that I have, the standards that I have. Put that in there, okay? You're proving that you've done your research. Research is obviously a really important part of getting this application right. You need to make it personal to the school if you want to stand out. So I spent a lot of time reading through all of the different parts of the school websites, looking at their Twitter, Instagram newsfeed, their prospectus, their what else did I look at? The prospectus. Oh, and the job specification. The job specification, that's what I looked at. So make sure you're looking at all of those things and you've done your research before you even start to write your application. Top tip there. So next paragraph is a bit about me as a teacher. So I've said this, you should personalise this to yourself, okay? So I've said, at the heart of all that I do as a teacher runs a concern for the happiness, safety and well-being of my students. Okay, that is a quick summary of the things that I think is most important to me as a teacher. What do you think is most important? Okay, that's what you need to put in that sentence. And I've linked that into the specification that I found, the job specification that I found for the role, because they said about, you know, the happiness of the students being key to them, and obviously student safety is of concern to every school. Safeguarding is obviously very important. So yeah, that's the first bit of that paragraph. So then I found a way to link in their key, like, ethos or mission or statement. Okay, so the school that I'm applying for, they have a key statement that's just three words long. So I really admire what I've written. I really admire the school's commitment to, and then I've put the school statement, and I've linked it into something that I've done, and how, you know, I feel like I relate to this. I think it's important, and I can demonstrate this through the experience that I've had, the things that I've done. Okay. Again, this is why it's important that you're finding a school that's right for you, because you want to make sure that you align with their ethos, with their mission, with what they're going for, because otherwise you're probably not going to be happy for there. And I don't know about you, but being happy at school, the school that I'm working at, is top of my list of priorities. Okay, so I developed on this a bit with another sentence, and then I wrote a final sentence for that paragraph, which is about the school aims and how I think that would contribute to, with my teaching, and their mission statement would contribute to an all-rounded student that would, be able to go out into life and kill it. So obviously I didn't write it like that. Put it in your own words. So this next paragraph is probably one of the most personalised one to you as a teacher. So in this paragraph, I have focused on my commitment to my professional development. Okay, so I've put in a bit about what I've done and what I want to do. And then you've got to remember as well that you're trying to sell yourself a bit in this application. I am the best, you want me because of this. Okay, so I'm going to read this out to you because you can't copy it. There's no way that it would be beneficial to you, but it will give you an idea of what I've put, and then you can mould it into what would be right for you. So this paragraph reads, personally, I have a commitment to my own professional development, and following the completion of my PGCE, I aspire to complete a Master's in Education, Science, it's in brackets after the course title, at UCL in the near future. I'm actually planning on doing that in my NQT year if I can find a school that will support me doing that. Just think about me. Anyway, continuing. Having already completed an undergraduate degree in geography, qualified as a Swim England Level 2 swimming teacher, as well as currently looking to undergo courses in other sports, and completing my PGCE as a music specialist, I have developed broad skills in a range of subjects which I incorporate into each lesson I teach. So there, I've mentioned all of my different specialties and the way that, I'm kind of saying, look, I've got all of these things that I would bring to the role. So yeah, have a think about what you would bring to the role. What have you really worked on in your PGCE or your other work that you've done, or maybe in a different profession that you've been in, and try and bring that in. Continuing. I have high standards for myself and believe that I am able to do anything that I set my mind to. This is something I aim to pass on to students throughout my teaching career. However, I believe there's always room for improvement, and I look forward to building upon my skills in my NQT year and further into my career. Okay, so that was a really personal statement, a really personal paragraph for me about things that I've done, things that I aim to do, and what I kind of aim to do as a teacher. So I think, having a good think about that will really help you. It will also help you to think about the school that you want to be in. Obviously, they need to support the kind of teacher you want to become. So really important. So the next paragraph that I've written, it has a focus on planning, assessing and reporting. Okay, just key things that obviously schools are interested in your opinion on these things and how you do them. So I have written about the way that I was exposed to lots of different types of planning, assessing and reporting throughout my training year and throughout my time at previous school that I used to work at as a TA and house mistress. I mentioned that if I was to guess a role, then the first thing I would do is talk to other teachers at the school about how they plan, report and assess, because they will have a good idea as to what works best for the students that they teach. However, the main part of this paragraph for me is talking about getting to know the individuals in the class, because I believe this is again a personal thing. I believe that the best way to plan, assess lessons is through knowing the individuals in your class. You need to know what they, the ways that they work. I think through knowing the individuals, you'll know the best way to meet their needs and allow the greatest opportunity to get an accurate representation of their understanding. So yeah, that's what I wrote to start that. I was drawing a lot on my time that I've already spent in school, my last job, and then at the end I just mentioned about accurate reporting being important. Obviously, as teachers, I think most of us feel it's very important. I think it's good because you need to identify areas for improvement and then you need to be able to address them. And then also it's good just so you can tell the child that, yeah, I recognise that you've actually achieved this, you've been working really hard and you've done this, and that's great. So that's the end of that paragraph. Okay, next paragraph is focusing on the teacher-parent relationship. and you might want to also add in there the teacher-student relationship. Both, really important, and good use of them can just make such a difference to everyone involved, the teachers, the students, in the learning. So I'm not sure any of that makes sense. I might cut all of that. So next paragraph that I've done is to do with the student-teacher relationship and the parent-teacher relationship. So yeah, I was just talking about how the experience that I've already had with these relationships. So I've been a swimming teacher for over 5 years now, and I've always, had to nurture the relationship between parents and myself as a teacher. They want to know how their students are progressing. Obviously at school as well, like, fundamental concern for the parents are a child's safety. So I've mentioned that in there, and that as a teacher I would like to have the time to reach out to parents, maybe just once or twice throughout school year, just to check in. It creates a level of understanding on the teacher's part that will allow better connection with the student. If you understand what's going on at home, I think you can just, develop that relationship more, give any support that's needed, and I think that's really important. Again, I've drawn on my past experience in school. If you can draw on your past experience or your experience throughout your placements, that would be brilliant. I think all the time experience, just adding that, not, you don't just want to be saying that I think teachers should do this. You should be saying, I think teachers should do this. An example of when I did this was then. So another top tip. And then finally at the end of that paragraph, I've mentioned safeguarding, and the experience I've had with safeguarding, again, throughout my experience, throughout my career thus far. And yeah, that's the end of that paragraph, and we're on to the last paragraph. And I have completed this paragraph on the rest of the school community. Lots of schools ask about your interests because they want to know how you could get involved in other areas of the school, such as extracurricular clubs or just any other help you can give throughout the school. So I mentioned the school community and how important that is to me. I really like to feel part of something, so having a school, being part of a school for me where all the staff know each other, or they just work really well as a team, is really important to me. You might work better individually, it might not be as much value to you, but that's something that I'm really looking for, especially as an NQT, because I'll be asking for support from people all around me. So that's something I've put. And then I've drawn on teacher training through a pandemic as well, and how that's demonstrated to me the importance of working together as a team. Because yeah, that's definitely what it's taught me, to be honest, through this pandemic, that schools in which teachers can lean on each other and support each other where necessary, it's helped a lot, and I think it leads to happier students and happier staff, and overall that will just create a better school, right? So, in my opinion. And then I've gone on to talk about, in my experience, where I have contributed to extracurricular activities in the past. I used to run a gymnastics club at school, and the last school I was working at. And then I'm a swimming teacher, so obviously I could assist there. I taught other sports, umpired other sports in my last role at school as well. So just all the different areas in which I could help to, improve the school, add to the community, bring something outside of the classroom. Okay, and then my letter is drawing to a close. My last sentence is just, I greatly appreciate your consideration of my application, and look forward to hearing from you in the near future. Yours sincerely, Victoria Green. And then I have put my email address at the bottom just in case they wanted to contact me for any reason. And that is the end of my NQT application letter. So I've given you kind of a generalised approach. Obviously, everything I've put in my letter for this school is adapted for the school, and every letter that you do should be edited and changed so that it's relevant to the school that you are applying to. You can't just send out a generalised letter. Yeah, I think, again, that's why research is so important. Okay, so I did say at the start I had one golden piece of advice from a teacher that I know through my family, and her piece of advice has really stuck with me since she told me when I was looking for a school last year, the year before. So she said to me that obviously you need to sell yourself in application letters, etc. When you're trying to get to the interview stage. However, when you get to the interview stage, you're obviously, you know, you don't want to come across like you're not bothered. You are bothered about getting the role and you should be enthusiastic. However, it's important to remember that it's not just the school choosing you. You have to choose the school as well. It's not a one-way thing here. Yeah, you know, obviously you need a job, but I'm confident, you know, if you're a brilliant teacher and you're enthusiastic, you're going to end up finding a job somewhere. If not, there are other ways around that, you know, you can choose. You can get supply work, you can do whatever you can until you find the right school for you. But I think it just really stuck with me that it's not a one-way thing. You need to choose that school. That school has to be right for you. And I have, when I was looking for a role as a gap student, I went around some schools. I got to the interview, did the interview obviously, and then you have a little tour of the school sometimes. And going around the school, something just, I couldn't even tell you, something just wasn't right for me. And I knew that school wasn't for me. So yeah, you just keep in mind that obviously they need you as well. Okay, it's not a one-way thing. You can say no. I think that was just a really good piece of advice, and it makes me feel a bit more in control, which I really like. Okay, and that is the end of another video. I hope this has been really helpful to you all. Obviously, if there's anything you'd change, then actually let me know, or if there's anything else you'd add into an NQT application letter or any kind of application letter, then please comment or tweet me or send me a message at Miss Green Teach. I actually really love hearing from you, and all the messages I'm getting are lovely, and it's really created like a really nice positive teacher community, which is really nice. I'm putting more like daily updates on what I'm doing on my Instagram, and I've connected with a lot of trainees and like more experienced teachers all over the world, so that's really cool, and I love the community on there. But yeah, let me know if there's anything you'd change, anything you'd do different. We can all learn from each other. Obviously, I'm not a pro, I'm just applying for my NQT year. So if you know more than me, please, you know, share the love, let me know. Yeah, that's it. So I'm off to do some reading for my master's essay. Woohoo! Okay, see you in the next one, guys. Bye.